We got a red dot once again. Here we are again. If you didn't check out earlier, check out our footage of the Crystal Den opening up in Barberton earlier today. And now here I am at the University of Akron. Welcome to 3 Throw to Go, Akron's hottest and fastest growing show. We are at the eSports Zone at the University of Akron, which is where the teams are housed, and one of the locations where all the action takes place right here on campus at Akron U. So we're really excited to be here. I'm here with Nate.
Hi.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate you letting me in the door. All right. So, yeah, this is so cool. So you and I were talking off screen. There's so much going on in the world of video games and streaming and YouTube and Twitch and social media, and the way that all this has changed so rapidly in just the last 5 to 10 years. You know, I mentioned to you, I'm an old guy, right? So I started, my first gaming system was the originals. So I had, we had Atari 2600. I had 7800 after that. We had a television, a ColecoVision. And then we went from that, and then it was Nintendo, and then the GameCube, and then N64, and then I ended up stopping with PlayStation 2 is my last system that I bought, because I had a bunch of kids, right? So I just stopped buying systems, okay, where a lot of adults don't, and that's okay, but I just kind of got out of touch with all of it,
Sure.
right? Now it's a thing. It's its own entity, to the point where the University of Akron now has their own competitive and scholarship program athletes.
Correct.
That compete. So tell us about that program. How did this all come to be, if you want
Sure.
to talk about the history of it?
So the history of it's been about 2 years now in the making. We started off with an initiative from the president and the board here to get something going because of the vast amount of student interest in an esports and gaming program. They started off doing a survey here, and they heard back positively from about 1,700 students who said that they'd be willing and interested to participate in some type of gaming program. And it is something that's been up and coming on some other campuses across the country. Not too much in the area, but West Coast, East Coast, you'll see some programs there. So they started off in late 2017, and then myself and 2 other staff members got hired in early on in 2018 to come in and flesh out the program.
Okay.
Currently, we've got 3 aspects of that program. The varsity aspect, which you mentioned first, we do currently have 60-plus students that are on scholarship to compete against other colleges across the country for us. So currently we're competing in 7 different games:
Okay.
Overwatch, League of Legends, Hearthstone, Counter-Strike, CSGO, Rainbow Six Siege, and Fortnite. We've recently added those last 2.
Okay.
And what we're doing now is we're providing opportunities for students to earn some scholarship money while they compete in games that they're interested in playing.
Okay.
We also have 16 different student-led clubs here for other games that some of them are competitive in nature, some are casual in nature. Those clubs function just like any other student-led club here on campus. So students are able to come in, have leadership opportunities, plan events, travel through the club, and they're able to meet other students through gaming, which is pretty neat.
Okay.
Before programs like this had existed for students, they weren't finding those connections through gaming on campus or in life, because a lot of gaming is done either online or in your house, maybe with a couple of friends that you know, whereas this is a lot different. So we've got facilities here on campus. We have 92 top-of-the-line PCs, as well as around 30 console stations, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switches, and we own a lot of different titles here at the university, so students can come in and use those facilities for free. It's a cool activity that they're able to do after class on the weekends. It gives them an opportunity to engage.
Well, and the nice thing is, I mean, it's also spread out, so there's some over at the InfoCision Stadium.
Correct.
I've seen that pen. And then you also open up the new facility over at Bounce at the Innovation Hub.
Correct.
So that's over there as well. Those are all available to students then?
The Bounce facility is a little bit different, so we can do some activities out of there, perhaps on the weekends, things like that. Right now, we are not using that facility for daily, weekly events.
Okay.
But the 3 facilities on campus here we are. So there's one in the Student Union, one that's located in the Honors Complex, and then the one that you mentioned in InfoCision.
All right, so let's back it up then, and let's just talk about the casual gamer. So
Sure.
You've got casual gamer, and they're in their tiny little dorm room, so they don't have a console or they don't have a computer in their room with them, and they want to reserve some time. So what's the process? How does that work?
So what they would be looking to do is they'd be looking to get in contact with one of the clubs here on campus. And like I said, there's about 16 different clubs. Those clubs reserve the facility for different types of activities. Sometimes it's free play, sometimes it's practice, sometimes they're getting in to do review. Sometimes it's just, hey, we're going to go hang out in the spaces, and they use those facilities as reservations. In essence, those reservations are meant to provide a space for students to connect with other students on campus.
Okay.
Currently, we're not doing one-to-one reservations. So
Okay.
for the most part, students can just show up and play.
Gotcha.
In the evenings, early on in the weekends, it does tend to get busy. We do tend to fill up. There are times where it's less busy, but for the most part, evenings, after class, especially Thursdays here, as we don't have Friday classes, tend to be pretty packed.
Okay. So here's what I like. So when Pokemon first came out, all right, my office happened to be at the time in Barberton by Lake Anna,
Okay.
which was like internationally known for Pokemon.
Pokemon hunting?
Yeah. So it was because it's a lake and it's square, and they would have the stops and everything. So we would go and sit at lunch, and we would watch all these people hunt the Pokemon. And a big joke with us was, these people haven't been out of their parents' basements in like 5 or 10 years, okay? So what I like about what you guys are doing is having that social community aspect. It takes that person away from basically sitting in their basement or some dark nook and cranny, brings them out into the light, and actually has them interact with other people without being on a microphone talking through a screen, right? So I love the way that you guys are doing that. Okay, so all right, so that's the casual player. All right, so now tell us more about these clubs. So how do the clubs operate?
So the clubs operate just like any other student-led club might at a university. So if you've been a member of a club sport or you were in any type of student council, these clubs are very similar. It's just instead of sports being the focus or something else being the focus, gaming's the focus.
Okay.
And it's a way for students to kind of get together. They can assume leadership opportunities through those clubs. So each of those clubs has president, vice president, treasurer, secretary. Just like they might with a regular club, they can request funds through the university.
Almost like a video game fraternity, kind of.
I would say it's closer to club sports than it is anything else.
Do they name themselves?
They do, yes.
Like we're Club Retro and we're Club Genesis.
That is correct.
Okay,
yeah. So they have got clubs. The club names are often the video game or the genre of game that the students play.
Okay.
And then from there, some of the clubs have expanded out to be around 100 members. Some are 20, 30, 40 members. It really ranges depending on the game.
Okay. All right, so what's going on behind us right now? There's something streaming, so some folks are playing this right now. Is that right?
That's correct. So today we are actually streaming live for Extra Life, which is a charity activity that's going to benefit children's hospitals downtown.
Okay.
And this event is something that the students have put on. They've gotten broadcasters to come in. They've gotten students to come in and actually stream this content. So this game that we're seeing behind us here is called Warframe. And we have 2 students who are physically in the space and a few at home who are playing together in this game. And they are broadcasting this with one of our student casters.
Okay.
So in the other room, they are casting the action, talking about what's happening here. And this is all live on our Twitch stream currently, so anyone can watch it from home as well at Zips Esports.
Okay. And we'll go take a look at that in a little bit.
Sure.
So from that standpoint then, now, okay, so you got the clubs, all right? So now, it almost sounds like the way that European football is set up, where you got the club sport, and then you can compete to get to the higher level to potentially earn a scholarship.
That is correct.
Is that correct?
That is correct. So we've had half a dozen or so who have moved from the club level up to the varsity level, either throughout their impressive play at the club level or through tryouts in the following year.
Okay, and that's neat because it's almost like for lack of a better term, it's like being a walk-on.
Yeah, it's a JV system.
Yeah, it's like being a walk-on and earning a scholarship, so that's really cool. All right, so right now, folks, before we get into the varsity aspect, we're going to actually go back there in a little bit, but right now let's take a look around.
Sure.
All right?
Yeah.
I'll flip the camera. So it looks like we're in like a hangout area right here.
Yeah, you're good, man.
Yeah. So there's beanbags?
There are beanbags, yeah. They're a little larger than
those are huge.
we do, but they're gigantic.
All right, so here we go. This is a casual hangout area you could see. So now, what on this main screen, is there something that typically goes on in this room?
This is usually where students will do different viewing activities. So if there's a popular game that's being played, maybe it's a collegiate tournament, maybe it's a international tournament, maybe it's a pro tournament, we've got different things that will go up there. If nothing's going on, usually one of our student assistants who works at the front desk will choose some stream to put up there from Twitch.
Okay. All right. Let's head on into the next room. and you can just kind of tour us. So whatever's going on, you just let us know. Is there anybody in there that can't be on video, like internet profile type stuff? Okay. All right.
So we've got some different club activities going on in here. We've got some people playing some casual FIFA over here.
Okay.
This is one of the club console areas. A few hours later, we're going to be getting into a Smash event. So some people are practicing for the Smash tournament.
Okay.
Where they are going to beat me at Smash later.
Okay.
We have another Smash Cup portion who plays on the old CRTs because they're playing a game that is not compatible with the newer screens.
Really?
Yes.
Sweet.
They'd be happy to speak about that.
Yeah, we would.
Then we have a PC lounge area for our clubs as well. This is, any student can come in here and use these facilities when they're not in use by one of our clubs. Today it's going to be in use for the charity event that I mentioned earlier. So we should have a good number of people in and out throughout the day. The stream that we were looking at earlier, these two gentlemen are actually playing the game live right now. So they are playing it, it's being broadcasted in the back room, and then it's being displayed online on Twitch TV.
So who determines, so I actually can get all three in the shot here.
Sure.
So you see, he's playing his game.
Correct.
He's playing his game.
Well, they are
and
they are in the same party together,
right.
playing together.
Right. My point is that we're seeing the stream over there.
Correct.
Is that his right now?
It is his, yes.
And who chooses what goes on that stream?
That would be the person
the
in the back who's
gamecaster.
controlling the gamecast, yes.
Okay, got it. Very cool. All right, but that shows how that works. And then let's take a look. Yes, my son came with me, and of course he found himself a console. There he is. Giggle, 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 giggle. All right, so right here I'm looking at, this is the main screen, so when someone sits down,
correct.
They just kind of, do they have...
They do not normally see this. This is not the screen they would normally see.
Okay.
Today, because of the event, this is what they would see.
Or is it this one?
No, typically they'll see a much different UI. It looks very similar to a...
That one over there?
No, none of them are set up like
All
that
right.
today. It's because of the event today. We didn't want to put the
Confuse
login
people. Okay,
system.
gotcha.
And it's hard to stream from what we typically would do.
Okay.
So they use their university login typically. So they would sit down. It would have a login area.
Stay hydrated, make sure you eat.
Correct. Yes.
Stay hydrated, make sure you eat. All right. Now we go back into the secret zone.
Sure. So in the back here we have our varsity practice and competition room. Today in around an hour, our Counter-Strike team that you can see over here on the right will be competing. Ooh. Right now they are getting prepared for the competitions later.
Okay.
We also have Rainbow Six Siege and Rocket League, who plays in these two spaces. Our Hearthstone team will typically play over here. And today we have our broadcaster who is talking about the action and controlling what's going on stream.
So now, how many active players are in it right now?
So I believe they have 4 people in their group. However, 3 people, thank you, Jared. 3 people in their group that are playing. 2 of them are here, and 1 of them is playing from home today.
So essentially, they're the ones that are kind of creating the content, and he's basically producing.
That's correct.
He's running the production.
Yes.
Okay.
And also commentating.
Okay. So as far as commentating, because that's going through on the Twitch feed.
That is correct.
So
yes.
that way, if anyone tunes in, then
they can watch what's going on.
They can watch what's going on. They hear his voice. They can see his face occasionally in the little corner box, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Very cool. All right. All right. So these are some of our varsity student athletes.
That is correct. Yes.
All right. And one of them said he'd be willing to talk. It was that one. He is busy right now? He is currently in game. All right.
If you're unable to use abilities in
Let me go over and let's just watch him play. Is anybody on your team? They all have handles and all that, right?
That is correct.
Is anybody like nationally or internationally known?
I would say probably not. Some of our Rocket League players may now be nationally known, only from their success over the course of the last year.
Okay. And the teams have been really good, right?
The Smash Brothers guys want to talk to you.
They want to talk to me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be out in 1 second.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there any way to
All right. So you guys are these guys are prepping right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So what goes into preparation for an event?
Normally, a lot of us start with something called aimbots, which is like standing still.
By the way, what's your name?
Nick.
Nick. Nice to meet you.
Super Turtle.
Super Turtle.
Yeah.
There he is. Hold on. Let's get that. Super Turtle, Nicholas
Yeah.
Walsh. Where are you from? Are you from Akron?
No, I'm from Bolivar.
Bolivar. I know where that's at. It's down by Canton.
Yeah.
It's the gateway to Amish country.
Basically, yeah. It's, my backyard literally is a cornfield.
Okay.
We usually do something called aimbots to start off, which is just standing still bots to get our muscle memory back into play.
Okay.
Just by moving around and shooting them in the heads and stuff.
Okay.
And then what you saw here, what those two down there are doing, we normally jump into what's called a retake server.
Okay.
Which is either you're the T side or the CT side, and you have to either defend or retake whatever bomb site is there.
Okay.
And that's for like the more stressful situational aspects of the game, having to retake the sites.
Typically during the course of a week or a month or whatever, how often are you guys in matches?
We have one match a week.
One match a week.
Yeah, and then during practices we do scrims to like practice strats that we are shown, strats that we use.
Because you said muscle memory, and that's important, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you have to repetitive. It's like any other sport. So, okay. Very cool. Well, good luck today, guys.
Thank you.
Have fun. Thanks for chatting with me. All right, we're gonna go get yelled at by the people that want
They
want better TVs.
They will tell you. No, those are the TVs that they want.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. All right, we're heading on back out. They're around that corner.
Yeah, I can hear it. Ian, do you want to talk?
Where'd he go?
Ian, do you guys want to talk about Smash Brothers?
Yeah, we can do that.
You looked like you wanted to.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure because you said something and I didn't know if you wanted to talk to us at all.
Oh, absolutely. Let me flip the camera around. Give me 1 second here.
Playing on the TV at my youth.
I remember when we got married. This was back in probably my first TV that I was so excited about was one of those, but about this big.
Oh, yeah,
It was it was like a 42-inch, but it weighed half of a car. Okay, so all right, let me back this up. All right, guys, so tell me what's going on today. We got a Smash Brothers courtesy tournament going on. Is that correct?
Yeah, this is all for charity for Extra Life. We're getting
Supporting Akron Children's, right?
Yes, Akron Children's Hospital.
Okay.
So we're running a bunch of different brackets.
Fun stuff, not all competitive.
Not all super competitive. That's the beauty of Smash compared to like other fighting games, is that you can just play it more casually and have fun with the different options available.
I'm gonna ask you this: is it always G-rated? Do people get angry?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Very often.
You have no idea.
Well, and I didn't ask that
We borrowed one of
from
your
the varsity
guys'
aspect. I didn't ask that earlier. You know, how heated do things get around here?
Around here, things don't get.
I would say within the university players no, but like we're open to the public, like
We're on the
events
right-
are.
we're on
You
the
never know
right
what you're gonna get.
If you're talking about specifically from varsity, everyone in our varsity program is pretty level-headed. Like, you get some frustration when losses happen, but nothing more than you'd expect from like
But you don't have a
your
game.
kids losing their soccer game.
Okay.
They're just like, they're upset, they want to improve.
Okay.
So
They wanna feel better about
what
it.
would you get from Smash then? What would the opposite look like? Throwing
Oh,
your,
what the opposite
throwing your
from
controller.
Smash? Oh, one guy threw his Wii once.
Yeah.
He threw the Wii?
Yeah.
Like the whole console?
It was an accident though.
Okay.
It was an accident.
There was a time my freshman year here where
There's
like
pride.
really someone lost his tournament set and he
Oh.
broke a table.
Pride getting
Yeah, he slammed the table to the ground and like a piece of it fell off.
Hey, I've played like
Went
once or
really
twice.
deep.
And the question is, right? I mean, if you guys are here, are people investing money in the games or not really? I mean, how's that work?
Depends what game.
You know what I'm
Depends on the
saying,
game.
though? I mean, a lot of that anger, I think, would come from something like that, right?
There's a lot of personal
I think-
investment in Smash. Is what
Yes.
I think an issue you can run into is in gaming is just like people put a lot of time into something, and like when they're they're not always prepared for how long it takes to get return on investment for that. So it's like,
Or someone's return on investment is easier, you feel like, than yours.
yeah,
I've been
ice climbers.
Ice climbers club.
I'll use the word victimized for me, okay? No, hold on. So it was Evany, all right, you remember Evany?
Okay. Yeah.
So, and Evany was a 24-hour game, and like you would wake up, and your castles were all smoldering, and they're all gone. And you're like, so you had to be in alliance with somebody from around the world, right? And then, what's it called? StarCraft. StarCraft, again, it's a repetitive, you gotta grind it out. Now me and the kids together right now, I stopped, my last station was PlayStation 2, okay? So we play World of Tanks together. So all my kids have their own accounts. So we will actually platoon the 4 of us. And it's hysterical because I'm Fire Beetle and they're all like different variations of Fire Beetle. Like one's like Super Beetle, the other's so the point, but it's all like tanks, right? So the point being, it allows me to actually play with the kids. And I still have my N64 and it does still work, and we do play GoldenEye together.
Yeah.
So we, so we still involve ourselves with it. But
Who's Odd Job then?
it's usually my son. Yeah. So
he's got the right idea. No, he's got the right idea. You should teach him League of Legends. In like 10 years, he'll understand.
Well, him and his buddy across the street go and play Fortnite, right?
Okay.
So they're in all that. So, all right. Well, thank you guys for talking to me. I appreciate it.
No problem.
That's all I got, man.
All right.
Who's this guy? Do I talk?
This is Sam. Sam was on our varsity Hearthstone team.
Nice to meet you. So, tell us about that experience. What's it like being a part of university life, but also being it's like you got 2 lives. You're like out there, you're just regular old student person, but then in here you're like this secret superstar. All right. So tell us about that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because like it feels weird bringing it up in class because in class I really feel like I'm just another.
And nobody knows, right?
I mean, people know.
You know what I'm saying, though?
They do know.
Yeah. And they see me wearing khakis and a white T-shirt every Tuesday, and they're like, "What? Why can't this kid dress?"
That's great. That's great.
Where's your jersey?
Well, it didn't come in until like last week.
But that's the whole point. It's like it's a separate alternate identity, for lack of a better concept. And you know, people don't realize that. Like my son right now will be able to name to you all the top Twitch gamer, YouTuber people like by their handles and names. If you were to see them out in the street in real life, he wouldn't know. He wouldn't know, and if he did, they wouldn't have the same name, right? So I mean, I don't know. It's a whole different world. But thank you so much for bringing this in.
Yeah, no
this
problem.
Is great.
Thank you.
So good luck today. Have fun.
Appreciate it.
And I'm gonna try and claim my kid off of a council because I've got to go DJ a wedding now tonight. So, folks, thank you so much for tuning in once again at 330 to go. Tomorrow I am back at it right downtown and actually in Cuyahoga Falls, and it's the Akron Comic-Con convention. So Comic-Con's taking place right now. They're taking place today and tomorrow. I'll be walking around tomorrow, so we'll get a chance to see some fun costumes. Until then, I don't know where I'm going, but there ain't no sense of being late. You guys all join with me. Everybody say goodnight, Shirley.
Good night.
Good night.